Good morning, sunshine. Sunday morning yoga at Mystic, 9 a.m. We've got Camille and Cheryl and Corina with us. Thank you for showing up on this somewhat chilly morning. But we're prepared and it's beautiful nonetheless. Tonight's class, the grounding, autumnal grounding with me is sold out, but you still have the opportunity to sign up for tomorrow night's Bollywood dance yoga with Deba Mitra at 6 p.m. So please go ahead and do that if you can make it. It's going to be such a wonderful and lovely experience. Deba Mitra is such a lovely spirit. And I also wanted to let you know that we are going to be winding down our outdoors classes, so please join us. You know, it's going to get cold eventually in October, so we're going as long as we can with the weather. So join us as soon as you can, just to get at least one class outdoors. It's so lovely. All right. So now let's come into a comfortable place, wherever you are. Begin to just drop into the experience of being in your body. So I'll say it again. So we're gonna drop in to the experience of being in your body. What is that like? In my experience, it's in certain redirecting of attention. Directing of the attention from thought towards present moment, raw sensations and raw experience of aliveness. How does that show up for you in your experience? As you become acquainted with the feel of breath, the feel of sound, the feel of weight, the feel of ground, feel of breeze on your skin, sunlight penetrating your every cell. Noticing any constriction that you may find in the belly or in the chest, and continuing the elongation and softening of breath, and soaking, literally soaking in being. We didn't have to be taught that. We came into this world with this. Take a deep in-breath together and sigh it out. One more time. And as you slowly make your way into a seated position, you might roll over onto your side if you're reclined. And come on up into seated. Find your palms and rub your palms together. And plant them on top of your heart. Maybe one hand over the belly. And consider that who you truly are is not the idea that you have about yourself in your head. And that who we truly are is an expression, a life stream, an experience that's showing itself through this instrument of the body. It's very difficult for the mind to understand. This is an experience. And bowing to this, that we are, we open with the sound of Om. First a cleansing breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Now as you slowly begin to move your body, move as the expression that you are. Without kind of referring to mind and how to move, you can just notice the expression of your movement as it arises on its own. Some circular motions throughout the shoulders, maybe some rocking of the head side to side, some elongation of the arms sideways as you circle your wrists around and create sensation throughout the wrists. Some rocking side to side. And imagine that you are just like one of these plants that we see around, or animals, or just anything that's expressing itself, that's being itself. And try not to think so much about it. Just be this expression. Maybe you open your heart, maybe you take a breath and you just kind of soak in that experience of aliveness within yourself as you move, curling and uncurling. Eventually, slowly make your way into a table pose. And as you come to hands and knees, start to access areas of your spine that need some kind of sensation or loosening up. So you might notice that you have a tightness in your lower back. And you can start to rock tailbone side to side a little bit, or tilt the tailbone up and down to kind of loosen up the tightness in the lower back. If you find some tightness in the neck, you might rock the head side to side and look up and down a bunch of times. If you notice some tightness or constriction in the chest area or around the rib cage, you might accentuate the arching and the curls in these kind of the mid-back area. And maybe some like rocking side to side to access the rib cage. You might even walk your hands a couple of handprints forward one at a time to access the side body, the intercostal muscles. Muscles that live in and around the rib cage. Maybe you notice that some tightness is available around your inner thighs or hips and some circular motions for the hips. All the while, there's really not really that much concern at this stage about alignment, but more about what is it like to be in your body as an expression of this mystery that we are. Breath, sensation, earth, weight. We'll all meet in a child pose. As you draw your hips back, there's the opportunity to find elongation around the side bodies. Maybe it's a simple letting go of the forehead to the ground in this humble surrender. And as we bow in this way to the earth element, we begin to acknowledge the earth element within our own bodies. Find it within your system, this ground. Lift yourself back up into a table pose and start to extend one leg at a time, pressing heel back and forth. Eventually, as you draw your right leg back, release your left forearm to the ground and shift one hip on top of the other as you elongate that top leg. Start to circle the ankle around. And then begin to take the knee towards the elbow and back. And do that a few more times. If this starts to turn into some rotational motions, let that happen. At one point, elongate the leg to the side. Plant both hands down on the ground under the shoulders. And take a twist to the right as you leave your left hand on the ground. Reach your right arm all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. Maybe kind of threading under a little. Inhale, open back up. And exhale. Two more times. In. And out. In and out. And as you return back to the center, let's do this on the other side, releasing right forearm down, rocking onto the other side. If you did the heel back and forth first, do that. Again, just exploring sensation around the hips. Maybe knee to elbow and back. Maybe circular motions. What happens to your breath as you do more movement like this around the hips? Can you start to notice constriction around the hips that is slowly releasing and more space available for the breath? At some point, planting the left leg to the side like we did before, keeping hands under the shoulders, open up to the left, breath in, and breath out. A few more times. Last time. Releasing the hand. And coming back to table. Stand on your knees, make fists, circle wrists around. Press your hips forward, stacking your hands on top of your sacrum. And see if you can actually really squeeze those glutes muscles to take the pressure off of your lower back. And elongate upwards and back with the upper body. And eventually, maybe do that opposite motion where you draw your hips back and kind of curl a little around your spine before coming back into a downward facing dog. Your first downward dog should inform you what it's like to have shoulders and neck. Notice if you're pressing a lot of weight in those areas, and see what you can do to take some of that weight off. Maybe it's bending the knees and drawing the hips back. What we're doing is we're trying to explore, as if for the first time, what it's like to have a body, as if you just kind of landed out of nowhere and you have this body, and we're just kind of attentively, with curiosity, just kind of exploring the different parts of the body, the different limbs, the different joints. And at one point, separate your feet wider than the mat and walk your hands back towards your feet. Have the toes face outward slightly and just bend and extend a few times throughout the legs. And then toe heel the feet towards one another. And slowly rise all the way up to stand. Two arms expand overhead with a deep in-breath. On the out-breath, palms come to heart space. You bow, hinging from the hips with a bend in the knees. In for a halfway lift. Out as you plant your palms and slowly walk your hands forward. Now shift your weight in a plank pose and see if you can start to find now the fire that we have available in our bodies, the fire element in the body. This is done by engaging around the muscles, by finding the breath. Let's take 2 more breaths, flesh the floor away. Feel the shaking that's beginning to happen around the legs and around the arms. As you lower the knees down, let the chest follow all the way down. Elbows point directly back, preparing for baby cobra. As you open your heart, draw the elbows back, squeezing those shoulder blades muscles towards one another. Take a deep breath in. On the breath out, press yourself back up slowly to downward dog and begin to once again kind of let go of the head completely. There's this opportunity here to tell the neck that it doesn't have to hold your head anymore. This time we'll walk the feet forward to come into a forward fold. However you get there is great. Take your time to slowly rise all the way up to stand with a deep in breath. On the out breath, palms to heart space. Inhale, 2 arms reach overhead. On the exhale, bow, hinge from the hips, forward fold. In for a halfway lift. Out plant the palms, step back, plank pose. Bring the right knee towards your chest and step back. Left knee towards your chest and step back. Do that again. Right, back, left, back. Start to feel your lower core getting engaged now as that area below the navel even. Pull that navel in and out. Let's do 3 more times on each side. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Lower down onto your forearms. Hold the plank. Tuck tailbone under as you draw the chest forward. Activate those elbows away from the ground towards one another. For 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself upwards into a sphinx pose as the elbows lie under the shoulders. Draw the sternum forward and up. And now expand the arms sideways as you release your lowermost rib cage down to the ground. Lift the legs 2 for locust pose.
Fox baby. Fox baby.
Aww. There's a fox baby that we're seeing in Cobra. I get the best view. Sweetheart. And slowly release out of your locust pose, drawing you back to downward facing dog. As you allow the hips to draw further back, reach your right leg up towards the sky, deep in breath. On the out breath, bring the knee towards the chest and curl. Lengthen it up with the in breath. On the out breath, step it forward. Find your way into a crescent lunge. As you rise up, bend the back knee, tuck pelvis under. Reach your arms overhead with the in-breath. On the out-breath, sweep them behind your head and expand them sideways, like you're pressing 2 walls apart. Do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep them behind your head and press them again. One more in breath and out breath. Now make fist circle wrists around. Take your hands to your hips, bend the back knee, and lift it up 10 times. 9, 6, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Hug in towards the center. Really expand those arms apart again. Inhale. Relax your shoulders. Exhale. Find the activity of the feet, the activity of the legs, the activity of the glutes, while at the same time relaxing the upper body. Can you do that? Inhale. And exhale. Good job. Let's find Parshvottanasana. Back foot walks forward slightly, dials down. Feet are hip distance apart. And we bow forward into pyramid pose. Notice how the right hip might go much higher than the left. See if you can somehow equalize the hips and stretch the mat apart with your feet, or just energetically kind of press one foot forward, one foot back. There's an opportunity here to really micro bend the right knee so that you're not locking the knee or extending the back of the knee. Relax your shoulders more into this forward fold and really feel the effect, the peace, the grounding of a forward fold. Take in the sounds in your environment. Notice the spaciousness within your body, inside and outside. Beautiful. We're coming into a standing split. As you shift your weight forward into the right leg, lift the left leg off the ground. Some of us might bend the back knee, the top knee, to make it a little bit easier. And then we'll take it into maybe lowering the knee so that the one knee is behind the other, and then lifting it, kind of stacking the hips back and forth, bending the right knee, shifting your weight into your right heel, up and down to your degree of comfort. We'll eventually land the foot back again into a runner lunge as you dial the back heel down for warrior two. Finding your warrior two, allow there to be this sense of, comfort with moving the feet. A lot of us think our feet are stuck in cement, as Kat would say. And we're not stuck in cement. Where we can move the feet, we can move them constantly once we get to a pose to find the best placement for the feet. So in warrior two, it's really available for you to toe heel that right foot more towards the left so that your opening around the hip isn't as intense. And as you expand your arms apart and stretch yourself apart, notice how much space you're taking and enjoy it. For all the times in your life that you didn't or weren't able to take enough space, or you didn't think you were allowed to, really expand really big. And just really take in that breath, that oxygen, the life energy. Reverse your warrior with a deep in-breath. On the out breath, find a side angle. And right away, we'll challenge ourselves to find Ardha Chandrasana half moon. So from your side angle, shift your weight into your right leg. Maybe the back foot walks forward slightly, and then a little more. And then eventually we're going to try to come into balance. Top knee can stay bent as long as needed. Maybe this is where you stay. Or you kind of start to play with bending and extending that top leg. At some point, you might even grab a hold of your ankle, lengthening your knee back, bending your right knee, squeezing your glutes muscles as you tuck the tailbone under. There's a lot of shaking in my right foot. It's telling me that it's about to give off, and I'm just gonna stay with it a little longer, really activating all corners of that right foot into the ground. Slowly land back in your warrior two, deep in breath. On the out breath, reverse it again. Inhale back to center. Cartwheel your hands down now to come back into a runner lunge. Drop the back knee down. Lift yourself up into a vertical place. Shift your weight back so that your hip is aligned on top of your knee. And take your left arm all the way up with an in-breath. On the out-breath, twist towards your right. Maybe the right arm extends all the way back. Maybe it reaches into a half bind. One more deep in-breath. On the out breath, return to center, plant palms down, extend the right leg back into a three-legged dog. Maybe you bend the knee to dial it open. Maybe you flip your dog, drawing your hips up, maintaining your left shoulder on top of your left wrist. Come back to the center. Find your plank, stabilize it, and then take yourself all the way to your cobra, or take it into a halfway into your upward dog. Deep in breath and out breath. Taking left leg up towards the sky with the breath in. On the breath out, knee to chest as you curl. Lengthen back, inhale. Exhale, step forward to a runner lunge. From there, lift your chest upwards, crescent, bend back knee. Take your arms sideways, tuck tailbone under. Reach arms all the way up with an in-breath. Hands come behind the head. You feel your own hair under your palms, and then expand the arms apart. Pressing imaginary two walls apart, but feeling the breeze on your hands. Again. And out. Two more. There's this wedding of sensation and movement. Good. Make fists, circle wrists. Take hands to the hips, and let's take 10 dips up and down, nice and slow, building strength in the instrument of the body. finding that inner core. I lost count. What? We have 6 left?
No, 6.
Okay, 5 left, right?
1. No, but okay.
Oh, I guess we're doing more on this side. 3, 2, and 1. Hold it. I almost forgot. Hold it. Hug in towards the center. Squeeze your glutes. Open your arms. Relax your shoulders and engage your bottom half of the body so that you're really feeling this activity in the bottom, but relax on the top. Good job. Dial back, heel down, open it up to warrior 2. And get really big again. Find your space. And be proud of that. Find and take as much space. Reverse the warrior with an in-breath. The out-breath into side angle. Activate feet into ground firm. And like a plant, imagine you're growing roots underground. From your feet. Take the attention away from thinking and plant it literally in the ground. And now going straight into your side, into your balanced half moon. Engage your pelvic floor muscles. Zip that core center so that you're engaging pelvic floor. You're pulling in towards the center. You're hugging in towards the center. You're lifting that navel in and up, and then relaxing your shoulders still. Maybe bending and extending the top leg. Maybe even grabbing a hold of the ankle. Keep your gaze on something really sturdy. As you finally land back into a warrior 2, take an in-breath and reverse it. On the out-breath, cartwheel hands. Stabilize your back foot hip distance. Extend the front leg back in a 3-legged dog. If you flipped your dog and you want to do it on the other side, do it again. Notice that when I flip, there is a specific positioning of the feet next to one another. There is a positioning of that shoulder on top of the wrist before I go any further. Coming back through the center to a plank pose. Choosing your Chaturanga version. I didn't like the upward dog earlier, so I'm going to do a cobra this time. And you can kind of decide each time around what feels better on your body. Back to your downward facing dog. Maybe it's a child pose that your body takes you to. Ooh, thank you, Corina. I forgot something.
I feel it.
Did I? The Parshvottanasana, huh? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Left leg rises up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, step it forward. Walk the back foot forward slightly, dial it down. Lift yourself up so that your hips are nicely aligned downwards. Then bow again. Parshvottanasana, pyramid pose. And the body will let you know when something feels out of balance. What it takes is for us to just really develop a sense of trust. More trust in the body and less trust in the mind. I know that in this culture we have really given the mind a lot of credit. And it's genius, it can be genius, but in some things, but not everything. We don't want to demonize the mind either. Without it, we wouldn't be able to function. Into a standing split, baby. Now it's all coming together. It's okay whether we do it before or after. As long as we do it, taking that back and forth, opening of the hip. And then finally land the foot next to the other into a forward fold. Slowly rise all the way up. Two arms. Expand sideways. Feet separate a little bit wider. And now the hands can interlace behind the back. Open up through the heart. And we're coming to Yoga Mudra pose. What this looks like is basically a forward fold, but with those hands going up and over. With the knees as bent as you need them to be, with the arms as relaxed. We're not overextending through the shoulders, you guys. So press up and back and up versus overhead. Good job. Now slowly take your time to separate the feet nice and wide for a wide-legged forward fold. You might turn to one side if you'd prefer to be on your mat. And find some side lunges, side to side. As you do some side lunges, take any other variations that are needed by the torso, by the neck. Maybe it's a grounding of the head on a block. Good job, you guys. Let's find a seated position. However you get there is great. As you cross the right ankle in front of the left ankle, take your time to find a twist to the right. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale. Take a hold of your right shin and twist. Back to the center. Take a hold of your left knee and twist. As you return back to the front, see if you can hinge from the hips into a fold, accessing your right outer thigh and right glute. Walk your hands over towards the right. Walk your hands over towards the left. Now as you lift yourself up, either take that right leg up and over the left knee, right ankle on top of left knee for a double pigeon, or come into a half pigeon with the right leg forward, left leg back. If you took half pigeon, know that you can take your left knee out towards the left edge of the mat so that you're more in a kind of I call it, I've heard it called deer pose. Yeah? Before. And I've called it mermaid or merman pose. And now invite your senses to open back up and like find this love affair, like literally this delight, this love affair with the elements. You might even touch the grass. Letting the light penetrate every cell of your being. Recharging this instrument. Imagine that this instrument is it's like one of those crystals that, or rocks that get recharged with light. Or even a machine that gets plugged into an outlet. This is what this light is doing, what this earth energy is doing for you right now. Just soak it in, take it in. Give this to yourself. And as you slowly come on out of the stretch, the right leg that was forward, that was getting most of the stretch, take it to the side and bring the left foot towards the hip and just kind of go into a little bit of a back and forth folding or a stretching onto that side. Take it to the other side. First, bring the left ankle in front of the right ankle. And take a couple of twists. Then some hinging forward while walking the hands to one side and then to another. So on your own pace. At some point, transition into your double pigeon or half pigeon on the left side. If you're coming into double pigeon, your right knee is going to align with your right hip, first and foremost. Then your left ankle is going to come up and over your right thigh, aligning left knee with left hip. It's like this box. And from here, you either stay upright, because it might be plenty, or you bow forward. Resting in being. One more deep in breath. Let it go. As you get yourself out of the pose, you might extend the left leg, like we did on the right side. You might notice that something else is needed on this side. And this is a beautiful noticing, because then you might realize that it's not all cookie cutter. We are not to be told exactly how to move, exactly how to be in poses, because we have different bodies. So we need to allow our bodies to take their own modifications. It's part of honoring that sovereignty. And you can slowly come out of the pose now. Maybe both legs extend forward as you slowly rock onto your backs. Maybe the knees bend instead of extending so that you can support your lower back. And see if you can find one last pose of your choice. If you have a block to place under your sacrum, there might be an opportunity to just reach those legs. Maybe you place your hands under your sacrum if you don't have a block. And kind of enjoy the effect of this inversion. If you did something on one side, now is the time to move to the other side. Making your way back to your Shavasana. Find this earth. Feel how sturdy it is. And for the next few moments, just lose the idea of who you are, just for a few moments. What your name is, what you do, what your role is, just lose it for a few minutes, dropping into your chest, your breath, your belly, your arms, and allow space to fill your being so that your skin layer is starting to merge with the atmosphere. Space inside and outside. Inwardly and silently repeat the mantra, I am. I am. I am, I exist. I exist regardless of what anyone thinks of me. I exist regardless of what I even think of me. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Take a deep inhale together and sigh it out. Take your time to decide if you want to stay reclined all the way to end the practice, or if you'd rather roll over onto your side and join us in a seated position. If you're at home and you want to stay in meditation a little longer afterwards, that's welcome, of course. Bringing palms together to heart space, acknowledging this human heart, bowing to it, cleansing breath together, inhale, exhale, inhale, Thank you for allowing me to teach you today, and namaste.